Hello there, everyone. I am here today once again with the one, the only, the Tosspot,
Hey up.
and also Gerole, Top Geezer.
Hello, everyone.
So, yeah, it's interesting though because Gerole, actually, you're not a YTPer, but you're like fairly known in the Callum's Corner community, so that's pretty cool. What made you not want to do YTPs and just stick to the streams or just meme banter?
I have absolutely no editing ability whatsoever, so I thought, I thought that I'd open up an alternate channel for people to come and chill in when Callum wasn't streaming and stuff like that. That wasn't plagued by racist donations and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. I was going to say, because you said you're not like the best editor, and obviously, I mean, the vids are still entertaining, like the tale of Darth Callum Adams, the tragedy of Darth Plagueis.
Oh, yes.
About Callum getting bummed to death.
Well, yeah, like, I made all of them on my PS4 with the most basic of editing software you can imagine.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did them all somehow in one take, which I have no idea how I managed to keep a straight face throughout it all. Yeah, that was definitely an experience, and it really does show people a dark side and the other side of me.
Yeah. I mean, if that had been get rid of Palpatine's Darth Plagueis the Wise, just stick Callum's bumming death story in there. Revenge of the Sith becomes the best Star Wars film ever. Easy work.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it would have improved it so much. So, what do you guys think of Callum's latest videos then? Since he's moved in his house,
Feels like just standard. I mean, a bit harsh. Standard YouTube content. I'm going to review this, but I think it's sort of the mix of Callum's humour as well. But if you want me to be honest, it's not as good as. I think the best benchmark to use would be his hotel video in terms of a Callum review. You know,
yeah.
Which there was more content to it. There was much more humour, much more things he was doing. It's like the I think was it the cookie from Cookie Dough Ice Cream? I believe it's that one. I just didn't feel there was sort of much to it.
Yeah, it was really weird. And that tasting Tic Tac one, that was really bizarre as well.
It did not feel like it should be on a Callum channel. Like it just felt so out of place. I don't know why. Maybe it just felt like sort of a standard 2016 UK YouTuber video, but that's just my sort of honest opinion on it.
I guess you could say like he's trying to be like other YouTubers because he's got the audience, he's fairly established. But the problem is, I don't know if he realises that isn't what got him famous. What got him big was either beefs or him going absolutely mental into the camera. Or meme reviews.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Apparently he's stopping them now.
Forever?
I don't know if it's forever, but he did say it in, I think, a stream. He said he's not stopping. I think stopping would be a harsh word to use, but postponing, I guess, would be a better word to use. The meme reviews, he said, I prefer it when they were sort of once every few months. Like you think, oh wow, I mean, I think he released about 3 in 2 months, so it sort of felt like okay, it's not as special as what they were.
Yeah. Sorry, but what were you going to say, Gerole?
Oh no, I was going to say that as of late, his videos are very reminiscent of his rant videos, but again, there is some of these ones that do feel very YouTube-like, that are, because you get the one where he's reviewing the sausage roll. I feel like that's a decent video, and the ones where he's like, talking about the second lockdown and how little Callum, had a failure and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, because of his sister's stress, he was like, and they pulled up outside, I can't believe it, I told them to come down to the Isle of Wight, and he's like, where it's safe, and then my sister took that as a mixed message, and she rolled up with my mother, and it's like some of the funniest stuff. Those are some of his funniest things. I never laugh so hard at his videos in ages, because it goes from him going, yeah, honey's coming over and it's the best time of my life, and then it's like, my mom has ruined my life, and it's like,
yeah,
It's really contradicting. It's just so funny.
Well, yeah, because the stuff like the taste tests and the cookie dough, that's content that relates more with people like, I don't know, Mogs and other really, really YouTubey type people.
Thing is, though, with the YouTubey people, their videos are like really, really high level edited. There's a high quality to the editing, even though I think Morgs is crap. With Callum, it's like very standardish, very like standard 2014 to 2017. You know,
Yeah.
Pick up a camera. This is me, but it does bring on to like a good point because before we get onto this, because it sort of segues well into the next part. Gerole did a video with Callum, and it was given to a fellow called Jersey Boy to do the editing. Now, this was for his second channel, which is Callum Does the Internet, I believe. Mm-hmm. Now, like, I think we had this sort of discussion, like, I like on Callum's corner, the main channel, like the sort of rough, pick up a camera, quick cuts, that's it. Whereas on the second one, Jersey was editing the video to, which was a collab with Gerole, where he was putting some editing in, making it look a bit more of a standard YouTube video. But I wouldn't like it, if Callum did high edited video, just because as I said, I like just to pick up. It looks like he just picks up a camera, rants in it for 20 minutes, and puts it down again.
That is a fair comment, but he ain't going to get as big as Morgs by doing that, because it seems like he's trying to aspire to be like the YouTube elite, but he ain't going to get there if it's like sloppy edited. It isn't sloppy. I'm just saying, but I do get where I like that better as well. To be fair, but it ain't going to get raking the subs and the views for him. But it's all about what he wants at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, if you look back to his content from like however long ago, the camera was grainy.
Yeah.
The background didn't look as smooth. And I think that's what gave it the charm that it had, was the fact that it didn't look high quality and stuff like that. Excuse me. But now it looks so much cleaner and the quality looks so much better of the recording and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, a lot of his recent stuff has been... It's getting back to the level it once was.
Hope so.
Yeah.
But again, you could blame COVID for part of it. Like maybe he can't do as much as what he wants to do because
all the restrictions.
COVID. So I think we can kind of like, I don't want to say use it as an excuse, but use it as like a factor to why he probably can't do certain things with the channel. So maybe next year would be sort of a fair time to say, what his content's like. When he can actually probably do more stuff.
Well, yeah, because he came into my stream one night and he basically put forward the idea of doing like haunted house videos and stuff like that, where he'd go to these haunted places. And I feel like that would be very good for his channel and just for him in general, because it seems like the perfect thing for him. This, 6'5" alpha male testing himself against like haunted abandoned buildings and stuff like that. Which obviously he can't do at the minute because of lockdown and that sort of stuff.
It'd be cool if he did a Blaze version of that and went in with Drew sharing and just got totally stoked out their minds. That would be quite funny.
I mean, I saw that Q&A. It was an all right Q&A, but it's
the first one was a lot better though, because I like the shock value. Like Callum. Obviously he said he's done a bit of weed before, but then he suddenly shows up on this other guy's channel smoking weed in a car and they're answering questions. It's like, what the hell? He had quite a bit of a belly on him back then. So I thought, is this the beginning of the end? Is he just resorting to weed because he's getting a bit chubby, but thankfully he lost the belly? Fair play to him.
I almost feel like the second one may have been better, purely because he was a lot more baked in it. The first one, he looked like he was barely, taking a draw, but the second one, he definitely looked a lot worse for wear.
Fair enough. So what was it like, talking to the man, the myth, the legend, Callum? Because a guy like me could only dream of being able to talk to a king like him, So what's it like being able to meet him? Well, not meet him, but talk to him on a call.
It is really quite surreal, to be honest, because it's this guy that I've watched for however many years. And then there I am just talking with him because the first time I spoke to him was just after my dad passed away, and we were looking at making like fundraising stuff for it.
Yeah.
And on a personal level, like, he lost his dad around the same age I did. And
I remember a few years ago, I think he lost his dad when he this is just what he said in a video, because he said about how he was suffering with depression. That's why he started YouTube, or it might have been a live stream. And I think he was in a high position in his father-in-law's company at the time when he was engaged to this woman. But then his dad died, and then the relationship fell apart with that woman, and he was really depressed for years and years. I think it was when he was 24. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said it was the same age as I am, and I am 24. So,
bro, I thought you were like 19. That's what I was. That's what I was thinking. Like,
no. Yeah, so,
but that's awesome that he's put a fundraiser together. I mean, what an absolute utter hero, to be honest. That's really generous.
Absolutely. I mean, we ended up raising, I think, 1.4k on the Just Giving, and in total about 1.6, 1.7k towards the funeral costs. So
I think that's the last figure I checked was like 1765, something like that. So I mean, it just shows what, like, one good side of the whole sort of community to an extent.
Yeah, it is really awesome, to be honest, because it's like he's not like he's got millions upon millions of subs, and the people who regularly watch his videos are probably like 30k. So it's absolutely beautiful that out of those 30k regular viewers, you know, they donated 1,776 between, and that's really nice of them. You know, just as you said, Tosspot is just like, you know, brilliant to see them all get behind a cause and help. You know, so awesome.
You got to think though, this is a bunch of strangers on the internet.
Yeah.
I've just given this guy, money for a funeral, which the biggest insult was, right, the target was $2,000. The whole cost was $5,000. So it's like, how much is a funeral? It's like, it's just not a fan of them. Bloody, they're just a complete rip-offs. But again, you got to kind of have them, I guess, so to say.
It's difficult, in it, you know. What did you have a lot of good banter with Callum then, Gerole?
Well, we did touch on the videos that I made on him.
What was his reaction?
He says they were definitely something. Yes, they were. He says he's not really had anything like that made about him before, and he mentioned how he was at an Airbnb. He showed this in one of his meme reviews, actually. He was at an Airbnb with his friends, and he was in the garden. And, you know, they were on a Google or an Alexa or something like this, and all you could hear was me kind of shouting, "Hey yo!" They were reacting to the Callum is Love, Callum is Life video whilst he was sitting in the garden.
Class. So thing is though, like him, the age gap between him and, like, you know, our generation, people who are like, I don't know, 18 to 25 or whatever, or obviously even younger than that, you know, when we're laughing at like YTPs or crazy messed up like things like Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life, it's because of the shock factor. But obviously because Callum's like 40, he didn't really grow up with any of that. He didn't grow up with the internet, so seeing things like that come up and weird things being made of Shrek and weird Harry Potter videos, you know, he's probably like, what the bloody hell is all this stuff?
I think it's also a shock, like, it's a shock, I think, as you said, with YTPs, it's a shock that he's a YTP source clip, which, I mean, like, you got to think, all the people out there, like Michael Rosen is one of the most famous YTP source I and now I don't want to say Callum's up there, but Callum now has got his own following in regards to it. Like, I think that's sort of where the ridiculous side is. And if Gerole said he has to explain to Callum in a VC his videos, I dare go into a VC with him trying to explain what I've done.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the difference with Callum and Michael Rosen's doing stuff like, nice. While Callum's very, you know, he's either on like average level. I'm just chilling out today, and I'm going to I'm going to visit my mum. Well, he doesn't visit his mum, but like, oh, I'm going to play some football with Gareth and I'll smash his back doors in on FIFA. And then there's either, I've had the most worst day of my life today. I can't believe it. And then there's obviously him. Well, I don't think there's any. I don't think he's ever like really chilled out unless he's on weed or like he's just like vibing in the streams.
Yeah.
So usually either average or next level angry or middle ground ranting.
Because I think the best thing was I took a screenshot of this. It was like one of his videos. He had 2 videos that he uploaded next to each other. One was him doing like the badge, showing like, oh look, these are my badges, and it was like all spoken nice and calmly. And then his next video was the "How dare you? I'm calling you out" video, where he got annoyed that people were emailing JumbleTube in regards to complaints about him.
It is a badge of my head, not a badge of me giving head, as some of you thought was really funny to send to someone I worked for. Mortifying.
And I'm just filming a tablet. I look like a twat.
And then
out in public holding this massive thing.
You know what I absolutely love about that video, right? It's such an unsung moment in it, but when he says, "I've had it up to here," and he brings the tablet right up to the very top of his head.
It's just like,
how does that make me look?
Oh yeah. One of you sent an email. One of you sent a complaint in saying I sucked off dogs for quavers. How does that make me look? And it's just
right. They can't tell me who sent these. These are all anonymous.
Oh, man,
it's like I just imagine if that stuff was around sort of with the following he has now. I think that was like 2017, that video, 2018.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was. I mean, it still happens now because he sent in the Discord server a picture of like his email, and someone signed him up for Toy Boy. It's like a Toy Boy website, and he needs to verify his email. And there was another one which was signing him up from Naked Attraction. He still gets like trolled to an extent nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, the trolling's all fun and games, but it is a shame when he gets pushed to a next level and think like, you know, it's got to be a bit of a shock when you've got emails coming up saying, "Oh, you've signed up to this." You know, it ain't much fun, especially if you're like a sort of more to the boomer side and you don't really know what you're doing with technology compared to other people.
Oh yeah.
So it's quite worrying, really, for him.
Yeah. I mean, it's even like people putting Lenny on Pornhub and stuff like that.
That was kind of funny. The thing is, if he just ignored all of this, it'd just go away. But he probably thinks, oh, you know, this will just be class for a video. So
the fun thing is, no one's found out who's done it. No one's found out who's. I mean, let's be honest. If that was you, if that was me, I would happily come forward and say, "Yeah, it was me." Like,
yeah.
But no one has. I think that's what's quite funny about it.
Yeah.
I am enjoying the fact that he's uploading a lot more now as well, because he did go through a dry patch, I'm sure, where he wasn't.
It was mainly because of all the streams he was doing, which, I don't know, it's sort of like, he lives in a nice house on the Isle of Wight, so I know he's not well off, but, well, he's not insanely well off, but he could make an effort and do a video once in a while, you know, or just talk about something or review or whatever. I don't know. And I sort of don't blame him sticking to the streams because it's easy money. It's money for our rope for him. But at the same time, you want to see something else out of him with his YouTube.
Well, and to his credit, he has done, say, 10 videos in the last 2 months. So for a lot of YouTubers, they have much worse upload schedules. But yeah, I mean, I guess I doubt his world's weird and wacky every single day. So I guess he kind of just goes with it when these things happen to him. I don't know.
I just wish with his streams though that he'd just like play other stuff instead of just Fall Guys, instead of like mainstream games. I wish he'd just play like some story games sometimes and react to the stories because he has all the free time in the world, really.
But the problem we have was, I think we discovered it the other day with Black Flag. I mean, the thing with Fall Guys and like Fall Guys getting over it, so they're simple games to play. In essence, they're easy if you've got N-word and the N-word blaring out every 10 seconds or smear rape. But I mean, we proved it with Black Flag, which is majority a story game.
Yeah,
comes and plays it. Next thing you know, I think the fapping clip was played 4 times. Just a bunch of N-words being played, ear rape, just the whole kit and caboodle being shoved down his ear to the point where he's like, well, look, I can't play these type of games if I've got donos on. So it's either I play these games or we turn donos off. So I think that's the problem he has.
So I guess with story games, you just have to keep turning the donations off.
Or put a filter on.
The thing is, as I say, he has all the free time, so he could just do Fall Guys for a few hours, then move over to a story game. Because the thing is, it's about. I think he should also highlight his streams as well, because I feel like it's about leaving a legacy. You know, this internet game and this social media game. If that's what you're doing and that's what you're aiming for, I think it's like if you're trying to gain an audience, it's about leaving a legacy and leaving things people can enjoy. Obviously, he gets rid of the stream, so it's hard to reminisce about them unless it's like uploaded to the highlights.
Well, the streams are uploaded, recorded, and cut down. But the problem is, again, they're focused too much on the donos rather than Callum doing something stupid in a game. Like, I think the only true highlight I would say would be the Fall Guys win, which I think is at like 10, 11k.
Yeah,
now.
That's so funny.
That was mental.
He flees it. No! He's like,
he rips his shirt in half. Oh,
would you bloody believe it? It's some of the coolest stuff ever.
I just love when he goes, oh, there goes my cider.
Yeah.
And you compare that to Gerole, who's got 63. How many have you got wins?
70. Yeah. I don't know, like, it's weird because what Callum's community is built around, that's always going to be the focal point, the filth with the highlights. Whereas, I mean, not to compare my channel to Callum's in any way, shape or form, but if it was me, I'd be looking for the wholesome moments and like the cool clips in games and stuff like that if I was to somehow get to the stage where I had highlights. Because despite the fact I am a sub-community of Callum, my streams rarely, if ever, get any filth in them when it comes to donos and stuff like that. So I guess I'm kind of blessed in that regard.
Yeah,
well, the thing is, I mean, look at the start of your. Oh, sorry, I was going to say, look at the start of your streams. Like when you first started, like you had the Karen bot on reading out the comments, and most of them were just. I mean, I can't deny. I mean, some of them were sent by me, but you know, it was all just filth. And now, if you look at what it is now, it's sort of a lot more tame. I'm going to say tamer in like the lightest way or loosest way, but they're a bit more tamer to what they used to be.
I mean, I was going to say something relating to that as well because, well, not relating exactly to that, but I was watching a bit of your Fall Guys stream, as you know, you coming on the podcast, and there was this dude begging for you to poo on him or poo on the table or something ridiculous, or this woman, sorry. I don't know the gender, but yeah, he or she was like saying poo, 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 do a poo with sweet corn, and I don't know, it's just like some of the craziest stuff ever. So was that like a one-off, or was that, or
I mean, no, you get the odd person these days that's just like, you know, because they are from the Callum community, or do a poo or whatever. But for the most part, my audience is now all of the older Callum viewers. So in my audience, we have a couple people in their 30s who are regularly in every stream. And it's like all the people of the ages of 18 to 25 who basically had enough of all the filth on Callum's stream. Yeah. And they were kind of just like, well, this is a different outlet with all the same people that I got on with. So this is a good place to kind of just chill out and have a laugh.
Fair play. So do you mostly just play Fall Guys then, or would you go for story games one day?
Well, that's the thing. I usually, on a good day, stream twice a day. I don't play Fall Guys anymore. I don't think I've played Fall Guys for like 2 to 3 weeks now. That was a one-off the time that you saw it, I think. I've been playing Jackbox quite a lot recently.
What's that all about?
Basically, it's an interactive quiz game that you can get the audience involved in. And it's almost kind of like a quiz game, like Cards Against Humanity sort of thing.
Oh, awesome.
So you can be given a scenario, and then two people will write an answer, and then the players will then vote for which one they think's the funniest or whatever.
Nice.
Stuff like that.
Fair play. So I was going to ask though, Like, how long do you think Callum's Corner will keep up the YouTube stuff for?
I think for as long as he enjoys it, really, and as long as I think as long as he has a viewer base, because the Discord is now at 4.5 and almost 5K members, and say I don't know, say 3 to 4,000 of them watch Callum whenever he uploads. That's already like a small base, but then all the extra views and stuff like that. I feel like because his community as a whole is in quite a good place, he's going to keep going with it.
Yeah. So, what would you guys say the community's like then? Like right now, is it in a great place or an average place? Or I mean, obviously it's in a decent place because of the good things they've done recently. But
well, it depends where you're looking at, really. As I said, as we said with streams, I don't want to say I think toxic would be a bit of an extreme word to use. But his streams feel a bit, as we found out, like if there's a game they don't like, they'll completely completely destroy him in the comment or the chat. If there's no donos, they'll destroy him in the chat again. So I think the streams are feeling not toxic, but like I'm not sure what the best way to explain it is, but entitled, because I think Callum said that. Oh, you're so entitled. I think that'd be the best word to describe, in my opinion.
Yeah. They're almost like a spoiled child who's had the same thing over and over and over again, and any tiny bit of change or they don't get their way one time, and it's like they always use the excuse, it's our corner too, you've always said that. It's like it becomes a point where it's not just your corner too, but you're acting like it's only your corner type of thing.
Yeah, I understand. So, well, Gerole, I'm guessing you watched the one me and Pop did where he talked about the SIPS drama.
I did, yes.
Can I get like your take on that a little bit, and if there's been any other drama in the course?
There's not really been any drama, no. I mean, the Discord as a whole it's a nice place to be for the most part, because if you're if you are having a shitty time of things or whatever, and you mention it, you'll have loads of people like, oh yeah, we're here to support you, this sort of stuff. Whereas when I joined back in May, June time, it didn't feel like that in the slightest. I felt like almost if you brought something like that up, you'd be mocked or something like that.
That's a damn shame. But a lot of his fans, as you guys said to me before it started, they're like, aren't they like, 14 to 17 or whatever. When you're younger, you think it's like cool to shit on people if they're having a shit day. Or, you think it's cool to like bring everyone down. Like when I was like younger, if I was ever having a rough time, I'd never talk to anyone at school about it because you'd literally get torn the shit out of. There was no one in my year who talked about their mental health stuff really. But it felt like no one does when you're young, because obviously you push shit to the back of your head, and also you don't want to have the mick taken out of you. People think, oh, that person's abnormal, that they're feeling down, which is, But obviously, once people grow up, they realise, everyone's going to have down days sometimes, or average day, well, below average days or whatever. Callum said it once. You want to like try and hit the sweet spot of just feeling average and not like, because if you're high all the time, what is a high moment? But if you're low, that's just no fun.
Yeah,
I think the best way to explain it, like I think Gerole would probably explain it best, was Gerole's live stream. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was just last night.
Yeah, it was.
I think you should explain it. It's probably easy for you.
Yeah, so basically, last night I was feeling a bit, iffy during my stream or whatever. Just about the whole, because I mean, my dad passing was only like 7 weeks ago, so it's still pretty fresh. So I was feeling quite down and tired, and just not up to it really. So I was wrapping up the stream, and then I don't know what it was. A switch just flipped in my head, sorry, and I went on a 30 to 35 minute tangent about mental health and even now as adults, there's such a stigma around it, especially with men, that males feel like they can't open up and stuff like that. And yeah, a lot of people can relate with that, because even as an adult male, if you're having a down day, you still have that perception of, are these people going to see me as weak, or are they going to see me as you said, unstable, or that I can't cope, or stuff like this. And the stigma around the whole thing is just complete and utter bullshit, because everyone should feel like they're able to open up and speak about their problems without being judged or ostracized from a friend group or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's did something specific happen in that stream where people like taking the mick or whatever, or did it just the flip suddenly switch because the stream was just like tiring or difficult?
I don't know. I think it's because I was feeling down, and I almost felt like, not that I owed them an explanation, but I wanted to give them an explanation as to why I was feeling down.
Yeah.
And it was more like just basic stuff, like, it all started with, oh yeah, people saying that regardless, they're there for you, and they're just not, for one reason or another. So it all just kind of went from there.
Yeah. I mean, I think a big issue is that some people don't understand why like other people might be behaving differently. Like obviously if you lash out at people or be a total arsehole or do and say horrible things, then yeah, they have all right to be annoyed at you. But if you're acting a tiny bit strange or a tiny bit weird, them getting on at you, having a go at you, that's just going to make it worse. But I think the worst thing at all, the thing that really drives me, that really annoys me, is people who are like, I've got the worst life ever, blah, 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 and they really haven't. And then anyone else who complains in the slightest, they've got a story that's 10 times harder, or, oh, this person's had it easy, I've had it so much harder. And I think to myself, like, so certain people are expecting loads of sympathy off the whole world, and then when someone else has a problem, they've had the easiest life ever, they've had it piss easy. And I mean,
the way I've always described people like that, if you've been to Tenerife, they've been to 11erife. So they've always got to one up you every single time.
Yeah, and I mean that's all fine and dandy when you're a teenager, but when you get over 18, you need to grow up. You need to start, acting an adult instead of just being a bloody edgy weirdo.
I mean, there's a saying, right? There's like wherever you are, there's always someone worse off than you.
Yeah.
It's like someone like, oh, I'm like this, I'm like this. Like, there's some people who haven't got the basic needs for survival, and you're complaining you've had it worse. It's. I mean, I know people cope in different ways, but it's.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I know certain people should try and put things into perspective, but it's fine to be down. But if you're acting like you've got the worst struggle ever and everyone else has got it easy, or your number one worst struggle in the world, it's like a competition to some of these people, and it's strange. It's worrying that these sort of people are never going to be happy because they're always looking for. It feels like they're looking for this drama. They're looking for the nonsense,
What do they call it? They call it professional victimhood. Or I hate saying that word because it sounds so ugly to say.
Yeah,
but it's like they play a role of a professional victim. Like this is, and sometimes it's sort of like the boy who cried wolf. If you keep saying this and you're generally going through it, I'm not going to believe you because you say it every time. It sounds harsh, but it's the reality.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, it's a weird situation, but the Sam Smith situation at the beginning of lockdown, where he's sitting in his £5 million mansion or whatever it is, and he's crying in front of a camera. About how it's such a struggle and stuff like that. It's like,
James Corden does the exact same thing as well in his massive mansion. It's just these celebrities are just pathetic. It's like,
I think Ricky Gervais described it the best. He went live and he took the mic. He said, "Oh, I'm struggling. I've already been swimming 5 times this week. I've already gone on my I've already played tennis 10 times this week. I've already in my £10 million Beverly Hills mansion. Just completely just ripping into them like, you're complaining about lockdown in your fancy in your fancy house. Try self-isolate in a 1-bed or in a studio in London. I think he put it the best, and I think it's like when celebrities talk about anything, mental health, politics. Half the time, I think I'm not going to listen because your situation is irregular. You're loaded. Like I know money don't buy happiness, but it's like you're loaded. You can do this. You've got loads of resources. Some people haven't. So you don't know anything about the real world. I think that would probably be the best way to explain it. But then again, that sounds harsh in its own way.
Yeah. Because as much as celebrities do have an opinion, it's fine that they have an opinion. As Ricky Gervais said, they shouldn't really be able to lecture the public because they're not in the real world. If bad things happen in countries or if things go really, really horrible, the poorest people are affected, or lower middle class people and whatever, or working class people, they're going to be affected the most. People who are loaded like Sam Smith and bloody James Corden, they can just fly off to Switzerland or somewhere nice, if things go really bad where they live.
The way I see it, it's the fact that all of these people with all of this money can afford like the very top like counselling and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But if you as a Joe Public try and get counselling on the NHS, it can take up to a year. You can be on a waiting list for a year for it. Whereas these guys can, pay the most qualified people. And it's like no one. I almost feel if it's a real struggle, then no one has any place to judge. But if it's something trivial, and I mean, it might seem like the end of the world to said person, but it's almost like a reality check is needed sometimes. Like,
The thing is, I'm sure we all know some people who have just had crap hands dealt to them constantly. And if they can, as much as they might feel down or might feel like giving up, if they can push and carry on, what the hell gives these multiple millionaire celebrities the right to just give up or just whine about it on social media? Because the people who I know with really, really hard lives or really bad lives, they're not going on about it 24/7. They're not crying in front of a camera in their £5 million mansion at all,
That's the thing. Like with me, I've always been one of those people to keep shit to myself. But as I said last night, I don't know what it was. A switch kind of just flipped, and I just kind of went on a rant about how society as a whole is basically a disgrace. Like it's the fact that we're still in the year 2020, and people are still being judged on race, sexuality, gender, and stuff like that. We've been around for however many thousands of years, and we still can't see past stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess you're just always going to have some lunatics who are dickheaded to people. I suppose you just sort of have to. I mean, on myself, and I know a lot of other people have had really horrible things said to them. You just sort of have to tell people to do one and get on with it and realise these arseholes, these pathetic idiots who can't see past things or have a go at people for no reason. These people are just very, they're just really cold and stupid. You just have to try and get on with it and realise that they don't matter, and realise that as long as your family care about you and love you, or your loved ones or your partner or your close friends, you know what I mean? Like, they're the people that matter, not these arseholes who say horrible things for no reason.
It's just the way you went on about horrible things. It should remind me, I think, when was it? Like, I think it was like a week ago or something like that. A girl went missing, and Callum put like a picture of her on his Twitter. And I mean, you see a few people say, "Oh, I hope she comes back well," and then you see a few. I think someone put, "Oh, she's fairly fit," or it's like it's not really the time and place. It's. I mean, you saw people putting stuff like that. Luckily, I think she was found. I think a few hours later. I'm not too sure on it, but she was found like safe. But it's some of the comments on there were just like, "Oh, she's quite fit," or "Oh, she's this and that." And it's to the point where Callum had to go, "Yeah, I'm deleting it." Like Callum deleted a few of the tweets.
I mean,
like
with these absolute imbeciles who are just saying this horrible stuff. I mean, how would they feel if their family went missing and then people were just putting, "Oh, X person is so fit"? Like, this is a serious situation, which, well, thankfully ended decently, but it could have ended horrifically. You never know. So I don't really. They wouldn't have been saying, "Oh, X person's fit" if it had ended horrifically, would it? I know that. Well, the thing is, they didn't even know if it had ended well or bad, so that makes it 50 times worse. That's just disgusting behaviour.
I mean, it does. I don't know who replied. I don't know if it was people from the corner or if it was just general people who follow Callum. So it is hard to pinpoint that. When I say corner, I normally refer to the Discord server because I think it's just an easier way to explain. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
It's just easier to sort of group them all. But I mean, it does sort of go along with the corner of mental health because this place, it's very easy to be memed. It's like any form of weakness, and you become a meme. So for example, as I said, we have a fella called Jersey Boy in our server. Now he did a charity stream the other, I think, like a month ago or 2 months ago.
No,
do you know when it was, Gerole?
Back in May, he did one.
Yeah. Now there was a little bit of an error with the Just Giving or the confusion with it, to a point where I made a meme that he was gambling the charity money, or he was, as a meme. I didn't realize what it would turn into. It's like it's become now a solid meme. Oh, so he doesn't mind it if it's like me or Gerole saying it or a few people. But imagine if every single person just keeps saying it. It gets to the point where it does not drive you insane, but it like sort of, what's the best way? It's like chiseling you down. It just, they're just digging at you. To the point where sometimes he leaves the server because it's just, imagine having 20, 30 people just saying the same thing.
He's quite irritating, especially, I'm assuming he would obviously be having some serious conversations as well. And if you're trying to talk serious or talk about the footballers or YouTube stuff, and then people are just saying the same nonsense over to you over and over and over again, it's just really petty and stupid, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Just for the record, he didn't gamble anything.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, obviously not. Yeah.
I know. I thought I'd say that because people know. Because I think the thing he does say, and I do agree with him. It's like at school. At school when some people would say stuff, and that they may think it's a joke, but the person on the receiving end, like other people, might think it's not a joke. So then it comes back in, full circle and haunts them. Not haunts them, but what I mean. Like some people think it's real, and I think that's what the fear is. It's not the case of the meme itself. It's people will think it's real.
Yeah.
And I think that's what annoys. Yeah, when a lot something else, a lot of lies spread about you, I think it sort of harms you in the same way.
Definitely. So moving on to something else though. How far do you guys think Callum's Corner can take this whole the corner? Do you think he'll go up to 1 million in 10 or 15 years, or do you think he'll end up losing subs? What do you guys think, if you had to predict?
I feel like if he keeps up at the current rate, it will be a very slow burn now. He may hit, I don't know, say he'll hit 400k within the next, 6 months to a year, possibly.
Yeah.
But, it could always just, like the Tic Tac, my head does not look like a sodden Tic Tac video. It could just take that one video again to elevate him. So, I mean, the internet's a weird game. So all it can take is that one video to the point where he blows up again.
Yeah. I mean, at least he's growing and at least he's getting half decent views. Like you see some of these YouTubers with 1 million odd subs and they're only getting 30 to 80k views every video. And you do feel bad for them because they've been on YouTube for so long, and you think to yourself they were around from in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And they're still uploading now, but they're not getting any of the clout or respect that they used to, and it's just a shame. I know Callum's only been around for nearly 4.5 years, which is nothing. Wait, it was February 2016, so nearly 5 years. That was his first video, wasn't it? February 2016.
I think the prime example of what you're talking about is Boogie 2988.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring him up, but I didn't know if you guys.
Yeah, he's the prime example of it. He's been on YouTube basically since it began. He's admitted to being able to basically manipulate the algorithm and stuff like that.
Oh.
Back when he started. So he was actually like, he kind of knew how to manipulate it. He's got 4.2 million subscribers. His Boogie, his channel was created in 2006.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, a lot
and
of his most famous stuff was obviously the Francis stuff, him raging or opening the. But yeah, he's had to stop them because of the swearing in him, for the most part. Which I don't watch Boogie that often. The last thing I watched a bit of the that idiot who came to his house with a gun and who was saying horrible things, and then Boogie was like, "Mate, I'm going to shoot you if you keep being a tit." That was the last thing I properly watched. I think I watched another one as well. I can't honestly remember. It seems like Boogie, either like for him to gain some sort of relevancy, he's either involved with the drama or something bad is happening to him. So like he's either causing the drama or something's happening to him. Someone's being an idiot to him.
Yeah.
One of the things you said was the way he said he has to stop something because he's swearing. I think some of the YouTube rules of people becoming unique. So I remember YouTube's like old motto was like broadcast yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like pick up a camera. This is about you. I don't care how good your video editing is. Like if you're not an entertaining person, sorry, but it's now the fact that YouTube have changed their rules so much. Everyone's become the same. It feels like every video I watch is a carbon copy of another one.
Yeah.
Like I think if I don't like saying people. I'm just saying, for example, it's like if I watch, for example, a Memulous video. I've watched a Will and E video and a James Merritt and a I'm Alex video.
Yeah.
I don't need to. Once I've watched one, I don't need to watch it again.
That's probably why they made E-Boys, though, because they know they're so similar and obviously they're good mates and they have good chemistry, so they made the group channel.
I mean, it's one of those things that, like, once I've seen it, I've seen all of them. It's.
Yeah.
I just don't. Maybe it's because it's my age. I just don't find them entertaining in that way. But again, that's just my opinion.
I get exactly where you're coming from. It feels like a lot of the best out of all the people above 1 million subs are deep analytical videos, podcasts, and some cool out of the box stuff. Because a lot of the stuff nowadays, it feels like it's either Reddit videos, which they just get really repetitive very fast, and I guess makeup, which obviously I'm not really watching that type of stuff. One of my family members watches that sort of stuff, but I don't see the appeal. It ends up being the same sort of thing. You see some of these beauty YouTubers who put the makeup on, and you're like, I guess fair play to you, you're that good at what you do. But I don't see how it's got so much clout compared to like a Shay Frillis 1 hour in-depth review of a film. You know what I mean?
I watched I think who was it I saw? You got that fellow, the Minecraft fellow. I think his name's Dream, the one who plays Minecraft. Yeah. But he's like revolutionised like a new way to play it, the Manhunt series. But on top of that, it creates another problem. You get loads of these top 10 or Dream top IQ players, and it's I forgot. It's like, oh come on, we're not going through this again, are we? Like those classic clickbait reaction videos you get, but they're not reaction videos. They're just moments from his video, and it's again, once you've seen one, you've seen them all. So it's YouTube now. It's become so repetitive. It's like it's on my recommended. It's not my recommended. Like on my homepage. Once I go on YouTube, and I always use incognito, so like my history's not saved. So it's a new homepage every time, and it's the same videos. So it's with all this sort of generic, I guess, activity. It just creates the same thing. And it just becomes absolutely boring. I mean, you could say my genre of video YTPs are some of the best in the sense of YTPs have been around since 2002, 2003, maybe even older than that. They're still popular on YouTube.
Can I just say the first ever type of YTP that was ever done? It wasn't intended to be a YTP, but there was an episode of The Simpsons where Homer's on an interview and they splice all the words to make him sound like a bad person.
Oh no, I know what you're on about. What was it? I think it was one where that babysitter had like the gummy Jesus or gummy Jesus Milo,
and he grabbed the gummy bear.
Yeah,
he was grabbing her arm,
and he goes on that talk show, and they edit him in a way to make out like he's a monster. But it's like the old ones, which were the Mario ones. That genre's been around for ages. YT, I think that they're old. Like they're ancient yet still watched.
Undercut scenes from the really bad what's it called? What's his name? I can't believe I can't remember his name. Link, Link.
Oh, the Zelda CGI.
Zelda, yeah. That weird Zelda game. They did a load of stuff from that as well, and the Sonic stuff. Sonic TV series. Another Zelda
I heard Gerole,
game though.
I was going to say, I heard Gerole earlier say he can't have highlights. I mean, look at his. If you go on his Twitch and look at some of his clips, he's already got highlights.
Yeah,
but
what I meant with the highlights earlier, with Callum's Corner highlighting it, you can like highlight a full stream and put it into a playlist.
Oh yeah,
that's what I meant. Like you can highlight full streams and put them into a playlist, and they stay there forever, pretty much.
I think the problem is it's the donos. The reason that's what he said. The reason I can't keep them is because of donos.
Oh yeah, because of all the horrible stuff they're putting. Oh, gutting, very gutting indeed. Really sad.
I'll tell you what. That's why I'm not saying it because he's in the court. I just prefer Gerole stream because it is just chilled. Like there's funny stuff going on, but it's chilled at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it sounds hypocritical because I used to do it, but it's the sense of each jono was different.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Jihadi Eddie, where there was but the whole point of that one was there was 10 donos in a row. So when he skipped one, another one comes on, then another one. But now it's sort of the novelties where worn off now. So
yeah, it just becomes the same repetitive thing. I just don't get why these people are doing this sort of stuff. But there you go. It's just that's what they find funny for some reason. I don't know why. So I was going to ask both of you, what if Callum stopped making videos altogether? What would you guys do? Would you try and find another YouTuber to talk about and make videos about, or would you just try and branch out and do your own stuff?
Well, I feel personally that I would branch out and just do my own stuff because I do still have set people that I watch and stuff like that. I mean, it's not. I don't watch anyone as frequently as I do Callum. But I'd always have more people to watch, and because my main platform that I use is on Twitch, I just feel like if I was doing it my own stuff from there, it's a lot easier than I don't know, maybe Tosspot, whose channel is a lot of Callum. So
yeah.
I think Tosspot's probably best to pick up from there.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but in the sense of it's. I mean, if Callum stopped uploading, people would still watch the YTPs, but I think there'd be a point where because there's no new content, people won't. But it's quite a difficult one, primarily because there is loads of unused footage that you can use, so it is still doable, but. I think there won't be as many made because sometimes most of them are made play a couple of sentences, I'll put a word in there, a couple of sentences, I'll put a word in there, where there's no creativity. There's barely a sentence made. I mean, I'm making words. I take syllables from his videos and make words, so there's still room for creativity. I mean, I'm working on a YTP that's not Canon related. I mean, people, if you want to see it, they've got my Deji one, which I think was pretty decent. So for me, I don't think it'd be a problem.
Mm-hmm. You just move on to YTP and other people.
I expect so, yeah. But I mean, it's quite entertaining just doing Callum, because I said it's the way he says his words, how clear each word is, the long pauses, how it just makes it so much easier. Plus, I think the community helps as well. I don't want to say the community would die. I think they'd still talk about him, but it would slowly begin to die. Not as soon as Callum says, "Yeah, I'm done. Goodbye." I don't think everyone would go, "Okay, see ya." But I think from then it would just go downhill.
Yeah. I mean, but I remember saying earlier, obviously, that Callum's Corner, when I asked you guys how long do you think he'll stick it out for, I feel like the corner means loads to him because he said about how it's changed his life. So I don't think it's just the money that he really loves. I think he'll stick this out for ages, but obviously, hypothetical question thinking. He might, if he did leave, what would you guys do? But I think he'll stick around for ages. He really does love doing this stuff.
I mean, Gerole's got his Twitch. So, I mean, I think he's fine.
Yeah. Right, do you mean you've got all every single Twitch stream? You've downloaded it?
No. I meant like if it ever does die, Gerole can just go on Twitch. I mean, like because it does.
Oh yeah,
similar,
sorry. I
but...
thought you meant he downloaded all of Callum's course.
No. Because Gerole's got his Twitch.
What sort of
no, it's because Gerole's got his Twitch, which is, as I said, it's got some core members. You can watch it. It's as I say, it's like a Callum stream minus the filth.
Yeah.
Minus the constant N word going in your ear, which is, I think. I mean, ironically, it'd be good for him, but then again, it sort of works hand in hand. But it's only a big what if, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like with Gerole, you made a good point with how obviously Gerole, you've got your streams, but Tosspot, you and the other YTPers, people don't know you as well. I remember on the podcast I did with you when you came on the first time, people in the comments were like, "Oh, this is the first time I've ever heard Tosspot's voice." But obviously with Gerole, because streams are interactive, people feel like they might know him better, than you and the YTPers.
Oh yeah. But then again, like, how can I explain it? I mean, I've only spoken in one other video, and the private videos, or the unlisted videos, which, fun enough, was another podcast.
Oh, cool.
But as I said, people will probably know Gerole's voice from Callum is Love, Callum is Love, Callum is Life, and from his stream. So people may know him more, but like they'll know obviously some knowledge.
Yeah. So next thing I want to talk about is Tom Stockdale. Like, the core with him, guys. Like it's sort of like Callum, how Callum got promoted by like Will and E talking about him, then Afghan Dan dissing him, and obviously the beefs, Dylan Brewer and Stephen Tries, that's helped Callum a decent amount as well. Tom Stockdale got shouted out though by someone who's way bigger than anyone who's ever shouted Callum's corner out. Like, I'm pretty sure he featured in one of Will and E's videos. Like, Will and E got I think Will and E got him to rap the comments or something like that, and that got Tom Stockdale to 70k. But KSI shouting him out, that got Tom Stockdale to like 370k, I think. And obviously, he's lost a lot of subs, sadly. So, but the question I want to ask is like, how do you think Callum was able to capitalise on the success and the shout outs, and Tom Stockdale failed?
I think it's because he didn't do what he was shouted out for. Callum stayed with this angry guy, which will, this angry bloke. Tom Stockdale didn't focus on music as much. But he sort of tried to become this YouTuber. When I say YouTuber, like this sort of generic, 2016 YouTuber, rather than focus on what got him, shouted out, his music. So I think that's why Callum has sort of not prevailed, has maintained his audience.
Yeah.
The way I see it with Callum as well is that a lot of people subscribed and stuck around just to take the piss out of him. Whereas Tom, he was this really nice, genuine guy who had this story behind him of, having basically scrimped and scraped until this shout out came along and it basically changed his life and stuff like that. Whereas, as Tosspot said, Callum maintained what he's always been for the most part, where he's been this angry, semi-middle-aged man that just screams at everything and anything. And I almost feel like sticking to who you are can provide longevity on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, with Tom Stockdale, as I say, he as long as he's enjoying what he does, that's the main thing in it, though. If he's enjoying making these videos, even though they're not getting many views, who cares? But obviously, view-wise, he has failed, And views do matter, because if he wants to make a living off of this and, support himself and his partner and their 2 kids, it's going to be a bit difficult. But, he's probably making decent money still, and he's making decent money off streams, and he has some fans. But Yeah, it's interesting how some people like they get a shout out and then they do absolutely nothing. Well, they aren't able to capitalise on it. Wow, Callum, he's done really well with it. So
I think Tom now actually has an OnlyFans with his girlfriend.
I think he stopped that. He did it as like an experiment.
Right.
He made about $100. Like he said, how much can I make from OnlyFans? And I think he only made like $100. Which, well, I mean, we can't talk about Tom Stock Dale without calling him Dale Tom Stock. I think we have to. But I think it's as well the community. I think the corner is a much stronger. The people who follow Callum are sort of much stronger compared to sort of the people who follow Tom.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to explain it as well. I think it comes down to sticking to who he was and the following.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get you. And I suppose the most infamous stuff with Callum's Corner, I'm not trying to say the most popular Tom Stockdale videos are bad, but it's sort of like just him saying, I'm so happy that my life has changed, blah, blah, thanks so much, KSI, this is what happened, my life's changed, I can make money off YouTube, which is amazing. I'm so happy for him, it's beautiful and brilliant. But with Callum's Corner, it was more timeless and classic because it's like him going, hey, welcome to Callum's Corner. He sounded like Tyson Fury, like when Tyson Fury was younger. And he's like, stop calling me a Tic Tac. And he's like, this is my, and on a different video, he was like, this is my ultimatum. And I've had enough of my sister's kids calling me Tic Tac head. And my mum was humming, Tic Tac, get back in your box. I can't believe it. And it's like, but obviously then he came into his own. He wasn't as nervous and timid when he started the videos, and he sounds like his actual self instead of sounding like a really quiet version of Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury was younger.
I mean, it's one of them as well. Like over time with certain YouTubers, the stuff you can quote, as we were saying, Boogie2988, you can quote many things he said as Francis.
Yeah,
you can quote many things from like if you're into that, the Sideman videos.
Mm-hmm.
Callum is just quotable. Everything he says is a quote, basically.
Yeah.
But there's only one Tom Stockdale quote that I can think of, and it's not a nice one either.
It goes, hey man,
no.
I'm not gonna say it, but I think everyone knows the one that goes, hey man, please shout me out. He's a gaming legend, Peter in a park, and I'm not gonna finish because I think people know what it is.
Yeah.
But that's the only one that's known. But then again, it's got Callum in it in the video, so it sort of comes in hand.
Callum is something.
Yeah.
Yes, Callum is a naughty word. That's what I'm gonna. Yeah. Or Callum is a word that is a Korean word, but it sounds like the word. But I think it's also, as you said, I could go through. We could like take it in turns and go through Callum quotes. You would never stop. You've got head doesn't.
How can people be so selfish and so rude? On my ass, take a job on the left.
Yeah, it's like there's just so many. Oh my ass!
Oh yeah, when they slow it down. Funky dinosaurs sausage. Oh my ass!
Or the
absolutely magnificent.
Or the I have never been so betrayed. My family, or the my sister Amy, and my sister bursts into laughter and she calls my mum, he's still got it stuck in his beard.
No, like the bloody pictures of Eastwick, the two of them just creasing up. I mean, he's just
yoke and all.
Bang, 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 bang.
I mean, you can even quote the stuff that's YTP'd.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do too many of them quotes if I was you.
Well, there's one that I can say, which is allowed. And that's from a famous video where he says, I woke up this morning and my good friend from YouTube, Tom Stockdale, had posted this video. Now, that seems perfectly normal. And you may think, where's the quote? Well, in a YTP, there's a thing in pop which is popular in the corner, which has become a bit popular. Other than source jokes, or as they call them in the corner, SOAS jokes, you've got things called reverse jokes. And it's got to the point now where I will send something in the Discord, people will quote what I've said, and then put some weird thing at the end of it to make it into a reverse joke. Which, if you're into YTPs, you'll sort of know what I'm on about. But there's one which is popular, which is this video. Oh, I don't want to say it because I know it's going to sound dumb, but it's this video. Weo. And for some reason, that is so popular in the corner for some reason. Just a stupid little joke in a YTP. So it's the stuff on that as well. You can just quote the YTPs. And I think that's why Callum is so sort of known.
Mm-hmm. I get you. So, question for you, Gerole. Any, like, I was going to say at first, any tips for streaming, like people who just want to start streaming?
I mean, you don't have to have a fancy setup or, you know, have the greatest video games in the world. Just be yourself. That's the way that I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been myself, and that's all I ever will be, because people eventually. I mean, it's weird that we keep going back to Boogie here, but Boogie lost a lot of his popularity because people saw how much of a prick he was when he live streamed.
Yeah.
I mean, there's many YouTube videos on him, but that's the main piece of advice that I could give anyone, is just be yourself.
Because I was going to say quickly, sorry to cut you off, but Boogie has said in the past, I want to be, like he said on Twitter, the Boogie in my YouTube is who I try to be, Twitter me is who I don't want to be, and Twitch me is who I really am, something weird like that.
Yeah, it's like split personality in 3 different directions.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, that's the best advice I could give anyone. Just be yourself, do what you enjoy, and if you enjoy what you do, others will notice that, and they should enjoy it too, if it's, you know.
Yeah. Do you prefer doing streams or regular videos then, like regular YouTube videos, or
streams every day of the week?
What's better about it for you then?
Well, it's the fact that I can click one button on a live stream and literally just the go live button, and that's me for a few hours, completely gone. I just have a laugh with everyone, play games that I enjoy, and you know, the little community that I have now. I mean, they've started calling themselves not a sub community anymore, but their own community. And it's like they're all amazing guys and girls, and all different walks of life, class, whatever. But they're all just really nice people who are just there for a laugh, really.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, you know, the quality of the person and, you know, how they act. And if they're acting nice to you and being respectful, then brilliant.
I mean, it says, Gerole said, you know, it's based on, you don't need a fancy setup. I mean, as we can say, I mean, we could reference someone else who had a bit of a setup and live streamed. But if you're not entertaining, if you're just boring, mumbling into a mic, it's nothing. I mean, as we know, Gerole started literally by pressing share on a PlayStation 4 and playing games on it, and now it's gone to the point where he's just playing games, people are watching it. It's I think it does help as well if you've got, as he said, a personality and you've got a bit of humor about you.
Yeah, and some humility as well, you know, being able to handle a bit of banter.
Oh yeah.
Problem is, you see so many people who just put a fake act on, who like they act so user friendly, it's unreal, and it's not even. No one acts like that in real life. Like some of these people who just act overly nice, and then they're just not particularly that cool. In if the camera's not on, they're not particularly cool. But it's the same at the other end of the spectrum. Like with the YouTube boxing, when the camera was on Jake Paul and Joe Weller, Jake Paul was having a right go at Joe Weller and being a prat to him. But when the cameras were off, he was totally chill, and it's just like, what the hell? So
yeah, I get that.
I mean, you look at a few, like when you look at how many videos are on YouTube about sort of the truth behind someone, and not like one of those clickbait videos where it's maybe someone said one word. It's the case of like, this is what someone's like behind the camera, and you find all these videos of them just being an absolute arse.
Yeah.
And it's that sort of thing. Like, I know YouTube, most of you are going to be a persona.
Definitely.
But at least, like, just don't be a prick. That's all I'm going to say. It's like I think the best example is the F2. Well, no, let's not say the F2 because I don't want to put the other guy in it.
The F1.
That Jeremy Lynch guy.
One who went up to Stephen Tries and started on Lawrence McKenna.
Yeah, and that man. Yeah, I mean, like on the camera, like in the videos, he looks chill, but in real life, he's an absolute arsehole. And then that's why everyone says Jeremy Lynch. Don't say the F2 because the other guy is apparently chill, like chill as anything.
Yeah. What really confused me about that, though, I just want to bring it up quickly. They won. They won the game. Why are you going up and having a go at this bloke when you win? If he had lost and Stephen tries to come up to him and be like, ha, 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 we win, you're crap, ha, 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 I'd sort of understand it, but you should just, be like, yeah, well done, you won, mate, fair play. But I'd understand him having an outburst. But when you win and, like, you're going over and having a go at people, like, how... Sore winners, that's like the most strange thing in the world. It makes no sense. You beat them, you humiliated them on the pitch. Why'd you... Oh, I just don't understand them. I just don't get
the only thing I can think of was group stage before they picked the little group stage before they picked their draft. But it was what was their team called? I think it was XO.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think it was just called XO. Beat them in like one. And you got to think that F2 team has a few non-league players, like players who play semi-professional football.
Yeah.
And this is a great. You've lost to a team full of comedians. I'm not saying they're bad at football. I'm saying their main thing is comedy. Your team is made of people who play football. So I think there's a bit of banter to be had there, but it's also I think if you've seen that clip, the way just True Geordie comes along and asks, "Is there a problem here?" And then as soon as he walks away, like off into the far distance,
yeah, and he says,
that little guy just shouts.
It's like, for God's sake, what's the point of that? That doesn't make you look hard. It makes you look like the biggest bitch boy ever. The best thing you can do in that situation is just walk off. That's the best thing you can do. Just walk off. Don't try and shout something to him, because worst case scenario, True Geordie comes back to you and says, "What the hell were you saying to me?" A 6'3" bloke, built like a brick shithouse, massive bloke. His muscles are the size of this Jeremy Lynch's head. Like his shoulders probably like the size of his head or bigger. Like what are you doing trying to start on this massive bloke? You're a lunatic, honestly.
Remember, this is all over. I think most of it's probably all over a diss track. You've got to think Stephen Tries is one of the biggest piss takers on YouTube.
Yeah.
So like, you shouldn't take anything he says at face value.
No.
Like I think that's what made that thing so brilliant. But as I said, that's what I mean about like sort of behind the camera sort of personas. It's just, I mean, I'm not saying like if you're like someone like Morgs who acts excited because his audience are majority children, he doesn't go in real life up to the shop count person at shop count goes, "That's insane, thank you, shop," and walks out.
I'm going to rob this shop, I'm
going to rob this shop. And then his mum's in the corner like, "Oh no, Martin's been caught by store security." "Don't worry, I'll get out of this one."
Bull Martin is an absolute Chad. He's one of the funniest geezers ever. Have you ever seen the because Morgs was talking about it on the Happy Hour podcast, and I was literally
just a bit of reference.
And he goes, and from ages away, they edit it like he's ran from London, and he's going, "Beans and burgers, beans and burgers," and Morgs' mum's like, "What's that?" "Beans and burgers, beans and burgers." "Where's that coming from?" "Beans and burgers, beans and burgers. I want my beans and burgers." "No, Martin, no! Don't eat my beans and burgers. Beans and burgers." I love him, Jill.
I just love.
Hilarious, man. He's so.
Yeah.
I just love I just love them in a restaurant. Like, so we're in this restaurant. My mum's wearing blue. She can only order blue. What will she order? "Oh no, there's nothing blue on this menu." It's just, it's like, I know he's you could say he's a child entertainer, so to say, but I think it's probably just our age. It is quite funny. It is. Well, I think the one where he pretends to get arrested, and the cop cars are American cop cars, and they're wearing American cop uniforms. Yet you're in the UK. Like, what's that about? What's that about? I know it's a law that you can't have a replica police car nor a uniform, but it is quite funny. It's just so out of place.
Definitely. I was going to ask though, what's your guys' favourite Callum's Corner beef?
Oh, that's a good one.
He's got a new one, hasn't he? The Irish guy. For saying he looked like a. But I think, to me, honest, that's a little bit of a weak. It's such a weak beef.
Probably the Steven one because he absolutely bodied him in that diss track.
It was probably his best song, to be fair.
Oh yeah.
And the infamous, "You ginger! You've got ginger hair!"
Bristol Fritzl. He's ginger. I think it's got to be the Afghan Dan one. Because Afghan Dan did release a decent diss track.
I don't blame you picking that one.
Do you know what? Like, I could, if only if that was like a few years later, I could imagine what Callum would have done now. Like in a diss track. I just want Afghan Dan to come back and do another one. Like, please, just let. Because he wants to do one on Deji, apparently. Because apparently Deji called him weird.
Yeah.
In one video. So I'd love to see like how you could do that. Like, how would you diss Deji?
Yeah. Well, anything else?
The only thing you could say is, how do you get a tan when you live in your brother's shadow? Like, that's the only thing you could probably say. But bar that,
brutal.
It's
I was going to say, though, anything that you guys want to talk about?
I think we probably covered most, but then it's like what Gerole?
No, I think that's everything, man.
Brilliant. Well,
it's finito.
Thanks so much for coming on. We can wrap it up there nicely. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. And
hang on, sub to Gerole plays on Twitch.
Oh yeah. Check out Gerole's Twitch. Check out his YouTube channel. Check out Tosspot's YouTube channel, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'll get a barrel of laughs from them. So great stuff. Anyway, have a good one then, everyone. See ya.
Yes.
Thank you.